This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, we'll tell you about a number of great events coming up this holiday week in our area, including a special service at this historic church. Hello everyone, happy Thanksgiving Eve. I'm Ken Kara. Thanks for watching FYI, your place for 24 hours of your hometown news and information. The information from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker starts coming your way now. Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassatt says the city is walking a very tightrope when it comes to payroll obligations. Hazleton's Director of Administration, Tom Pribola, says the city should be able to meet payroll in December. Getting there will leave the city with $105,000 in outstanding invoices. The mayor says some vendors will have to wait to get paid until the city gets some tax revenue. He also says the city is living paycheck to paycheck. The mayor discussed options for getting more revenue into the city in 2017 with the Standard Speaker, including pursuing an annual payment from the Hazleton City Authority. He says that will bring $424,000 to the city. For more information, read Sam Galski's story in the Standard Speaker. In other city news, on first reading, Council passed a lewd acts ordinance by a vote of 4-0. This outlaws public nudity and public indecency. The ordinance helps clear up some sections of the city's code. The lewd acts ordinance also sets forth rules for establishments that sell alcohol and allow nude or erotic dancing. This ordinance is part of a process as the city's administration works to rewrite Hazleton's zoning ordinance. Sam Galski has more coverage of this story also in the Standard Speaker. Improvements are coming to Route 924 in Shenandoah. Officials from PennDOT and Mackin Engineering met with Borough Council earlier this week to talk about the project. The estimated cost is from $5 to $10 million for maintenance and improvements to the Gold Star Highway and Main Street. The roadway will be resurfaced, drainage and barriers will be replaced, and updates will be made to 5 traffic signals. 3 of the signals at Oak, Center, and Washington Streets will be major improvements, according to an engineer with the project. Right now, they are in the preliminary engineering phase for all of this, and they plan to have the design complete in the fall of 2018. Construction may start in the winter of that year and could be done by the end of 2019. Well, are you feeling the hustle and bustle of the holiday season yet? It's easy to get caught up in everything going on, but it's also important to stay safe. Here's Lisa Sugar with more.
I'm pleased to be joined by Trooper David Peters. He is the Public Information Officer with the Pennsylvania State Police here in Hazleton, and talking about some holiday safety tips. I guess first let's start with the roadways. There's going to be a lot of travel out there, so whether it be for Thanksgiving or shopping, it's going to be busy.
Oh, absolutely. Thanksgiving is always the biggest travel holiday season of the time, so there'll be a lot of vehicles out there. So we always tell people, know where you're going, first and foremost. Give yourself a lot of time and plenty of rest prior. No going forward, the roads are going to be congested. Construction is still going on. Kind of alleviate yourself from having to hurry somewhere, which tends to lead people to be more aggressive when driving, try to get somewhere quicker. Just know that the roads are going to be congested, and always wear your seatbelt all the time.
And there are obviously stepped up patrols with the state police and with local communities as well, trying to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, I mean, this week alone, we launched a project partnered with PennDOT called Operation Yellow Jacket, which started on Monday, and we'll wrap up tomorrow as just one segment of our holiday program. And that's basically taking troopers out of patrol cars and putting them in PennDOT vehicles and running stationary radar patrols, which they would be calling out speeders to awaiting units up ahead of them to do a couple things. A, cut down on speeding, reduce collisions. And we all know when you see a state police car parked on the side of the road, there's that knee-jerk reaction, whether you're speeding or not, to hit the brake. But we're hoping that they also learn how to do that for PennDOT vehicles, which they encounter very often on the roadway when it comes to road work or other things like that.
Now, as far as going shopping, whether it be you're going physically into the stores or you're sitting at home in the luxury of your own home, you got to be alert.
Absolutely. Park in well-lit areas. We always recommend women, when you're walking in a store, carry your purse over your shoulder, not on your shoulder, which makes it less of a target for somebody to run by and grab that for you. Only carry the cards you need. Don't flash large amounts of cash. If you're going to bring your packages out, put them in the trunk of your car if you need to go back. Same thing at home. People wrap their presents, put them underneath the tree, trying to get ahead of Christmas. Well, maybe shut your shades a little bit. Don't make it so obvious for someone to look in your window and see all the items that you have underneath your tree. It makes your home a little more accessible for somebody maybe to break in and take those items for you.
And if I am shopping at home and I'm on my computer, what should I be looking out for?
Well, computer crime has obviously increased. Technology sometimes is fantastic, but sometimes can also create new realms of criminal behavior. Make sure you're using a secured site. Make sure you're using those sites that you're familiar with and you've maybe purchased before. Don't get fooled by the big sale deals where if it sounds too good to be true, it usually isn't. And again, passwords, things like that. Make sure you change them up. You don't get your information stolen by using your via email, clicking on something that looks like a coupon for something, and here it's just a way for them to get your information.
Should we be checking our accounts as well to make sure no one else made purchases on our cards?
You should always be doing that, whether it's the holiday season or not. If you use your card on a regular basis, and again, we understand people take that for granted, but you should be keeping track of where you use your card and how often you use your card at particular stores. So then when you do get a bill and you check your statement, if something's out of place, you know it's out of place because you know you were not in that store using that on that given date.
All right, great tips for all the holiday season, whether you're traveling, whether you're shopping or sitting right at home. Great advice to stay safe and to make sure that you are not the victim of a scam.
Thanks, Lisa. One historic church in our area only has 2 services every year, and one of them is Wednesday evening. You're invited to the Thanksgiving Eve service at the historic Brainerd Church in Sugarloaf. The service is set for 7 p.m. Earlier this fall, our Lisa Sugart spoke with a member, one of the people who helps maintain the church, and she talked about the history of the building and why it's so important to our area.
The children need to have the experience of walking just once into this church and see how they lived years ago, how they traveled here on horse and wagon, how they sat in this church on very hard benches for hours at a time with the possibility of Indian attacks. We just had a gentleman explain to us why there are slits in the walls of the basement of the church. It was to guard against attacks of the Indians. Hard to believe that a church would shoot another human being or the members of a church, but to protect their families, they had to. Our ministers came on the old turnpike, which came through Mock Chunk, up into Beaver Meadows, Hazleton, and then down through what is now the Valley Country Club Road, down Main Street. As he was coming down the mountain, he would have a bugle, and he would blare the bugle coming down over 93 to let the people in the valley know that there was going to be a service and that there was a minister here this Sunday. So the history is just absolutely amazing, and we just need to kind of keep the doors of this church open.
Now, if they want to get involved, how do they do that? Who do they contact, or do they come to a meeting? What do they do?
They can come to a meeting. Our meeting is always the first Thursday of the month, and it's over at the Borough Building on Main Street in Cunningham. It starts at 7, and our president makes sure that we're out of there by 8 o'clock.
The Brainerd Church is located at 95 North Main Street in Sugarloaf, and again, the Thanksgiving Eve service starts at 7 p.m. After you wake up on Saturday morning and eat a Thanksgiving leftover breakfast sandwich, I suggest going to this event. The Greater Hazleton Historical Society and Museum is holding an open house from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's only $5 to get in. If you want to learn more about the museum, check out their Facebook page. You will also see some past segments they've done with us here on FYI. Check out 3 floors of interesting local history, including restaurants and athletics and so much more. Plus, the staff is really cool. The manager of the Hazleton office of the Commission on Economic Opportunity says Hazleton has an amazing heart and the community is there for each other, and you will feel that spirit at this event. CEO is offering their free Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Annunciation Parish at St. Gabriel's Church on Wyoming Street in Hazleton. If you need a meal delivered to you, call 570-455-4994 extension 103. You can also inquire about how you can volunteer and help out CEO. Community Bible Fellowship in Hazelton is having a free Thanksgiving dinner on Saturday. They are serving roast beef, mashed potatoes, applesauce, corn rolls, dessert, and more. Stop by 458 West Spruce Street from noon until 3 p.m. If you want more information on this meal, call 570-790-3753. Hazelton is decking the halls this Sunday. Come out to City Hall on Church Street at 5 p.m. for the city's tree lighting ceremony and sing along with the Hazelton Area High School Chorus as they perform Christmas carols. I added the sing along part, but I'm sure they'll be cool with it. If not, blame Lisa Sugart. Well, we'll help you get in the holiday spirit this week, starting on Thanksgiving Day, as you can watch the Girls Special at the Mohegan Sun Casino at Pocono Downs. That was a lot of fun. I was there for that one. At 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving, it's FYI's holiday shopping / Kenny Has a Sports Story extravaganza. Check out Lisa Sugart's holiday shopping guide at the Laurel Mall and in downtown Hazelton on this special FYI on Black Friday at 9 p.m. It's another special girls episode as Janine and Deb dish out some healthy holiday recipes with the staff at Core Fitness in Hazelton. Enjoy the holiday with your family and spend part of it with ours right here on SSPTV. Coming up on FYI, former major leaguer and current business development executive for the Rail Riders, Russ Kanzler, is here to give us his thoughts on the Cubs winning the World Series. Yes, Madden Mania continues. And so do our segments with Kent Jackson from the Standard Speaker. Stay tuned for Outdoor Exploring.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazelton Standard Speaker.
My mom loves poinsettias. Really, who doesn't? Me, I can't pronounce it. So grab a bunch of them and help out Brandon's Forever Home. The Misericordia University Adult Student Council is selling them at various sizes from Larry O'Malley's greenhouse as a fundraiser for Brandon's Forever Home. For a full list of sizes and prices, check out Brandon's Forever Home on Facebook. For more information, give them a call at 570-926-5117. Brandon's Forever Home is a nonprofit based in Hazelton that raises awareness about children in foster care looking for permanent homes.
Not many things in nature grow faster than deer antlers. When they begin forming, antlers are covered in velvet, they're full of nerves and blood vessels, and those vessels carry the protein and the ash that make up antlers. I've read they can grow 1/4 inch or even an inch a day. Still, antlers tend to grow bigger as deer age, and deer hunting was so popular that bucks just weren't living long enough to grow trophy racks. 80% of the deer hunted were dying in their first year or with their first set of antlers. And to change that, the Pennsylvania Game Commission tried an experiment 14 years ago. They told hunters to hold their fire unless the bucks had at least 3 points on one side of its antlers, and that was in most of the state. Now it's statewide. After 3 years, the young deer were living longer and hunters were taking a larger share of adult deer. From the start, hunters generally were willing to try antler restrictions. 60% of them thought the Game Commission had a good idea in 2002. Now that hasn't changed much. Only 62% of hunters still like the idea in the most recent survey. But of hunters who wrote to me before I published my article, some said they thought the restrictions led to bucks with bigger antlers. 2 hunters mentioned they thought senior citizens should have freedom to shoot spike bucks or smaller deer. And 1 hunter pointed out that some older bucks would just have spikes instead of full sets of antlers, yet their bodies could be so large that you'd want to shoot them for meat. On the other hand, some yearling bucks have big racks, but they're barely big enough to bother shooting to take home to the dinner table. Age isn't the only factor in antler growth. Nutrition and genetics help determine antler size, and surprisingly, some female deer also develop antlers. In any case, it seems to me like the experiment is working. Since the policy began, the share of adult bucks in the deer harvest has increased from 36% to 59% last season.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
I vote we just rewatch Kent Jackson's intro for the rest of the show. Well, it was so windy yesterday, I found one of my porch lanterns in our yard and a cow in our driveway. I made up the cow thing. I was thinking of Twister. The wind is dying down a bit. Here's our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 23 degrees, northwest wind 10 to 16 miles per hour. Wednesday looks like a nice day, mostly sunny but cool with a high of 39. At night, we do have a hazardous weather outlook. 30% chance of rain showers before 1 a.m., then a chance of rain showers and sleet, cloudy, low of 30 degrees, little or no sleet accumulation expected. On Thanksgiving Day, we have a 50% chance of showers, cloudy with a high near 39. At night, 20% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, low of 36 degrees. For our Friday, a 30% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, high of 45. Friday night, 40% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, low of 35. Then for Saturday, mostly cloudy with a high of 42, and at night, mostly cloudy, low of 31 degrees. And here's our home of the week from Eagle Rock Resort. It is a well-planned cedar chalet in Drums. It offers a great ski view, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a finished basement. The main floor features a living room, dining room, kitchen, and master suite. Some of the extras are a screened porch, large deck gas fireplace, and new carpeting. It's priced at $223,900. Call Diane at 570-384-1362 for an appointment. Lottery numbers now. Midday winning lottery numbers: pick 2, 22, pick 3, 380, pick 4, 3505, and pick 5, 22626. When we come back, hear what Major League relief pitcher Russ Kanzler had a pretty good record against when we come back with sports.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Russ Kanzler back with us here on FYI, representing the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders organization, trying to get all of us here in Lower Luzerne County, Schuylkill County, up to that stadium in Moosic. I know it's the off-season, but you guys have packages right now. I'm really getting excited for 2017. Russ, I want to talk baseball with you right now. Chicago Cubs winning the World Series. First off, just as a baseball guy, was that a Game 7? Where does that rank? I mean, you've played the game. You were a major leaguer. I mean, how are we overplaying it, or was that game that epic?
On a personal level, it was tough for me to watch baseball this year. It really was, because I miss playing, and I'm transitioning from that aspect of my life. But I got super intense over that Game 7. It was unbelievable. It was a great night for baseball. Either way, I know they kept showing in the commercial breaks, history's going to be made tonight, right? And you had the Indians who hadn't won one in 65 years, and the Cubs obviously 108 years. So either way, you had to look at it. It was a great World Series. It was an awesome Game 7. It looked like it was out of hand. The Indians come back and tie it, and I guarantee you, everyone in the country was, very close to their televisions that night. And obviously, we know the local connection to Joe Madden, my former manager, and it was just so cool to see him be successful on that level. And I think you're going to see a lot more excitement in this area, and I think he's going to be tremendously successful in that organization for a long time.
And some of the players on the Indians, having played there, and you said you roomed with one of them, so you have connections. You also told me another interesting connection I want to talk about. You hit against Andrew Miller when you were up in the majors. Now, this guy was unhittable, but to put it in Hazelton terms, you said you had a couple two-tree hits off of him.
A couple two-tree. I would like to say, well, this you have to understand, this is when he was getting better, okay, so in clarity, it was in AAA, so maybe he was working on some things. Okay. But yes, I had some success against the guy. It's cool for me as I watch these games. There's a lot of guys that were in the World Series that I played with or against, from Brandon Geyer to Jake Arrieta to Corey Kluber and Kipnis, and those guys were my teammates when I was playing in AAA with Columbus. So it was really cool for me. I was split for most of the World Series. I found myself rooting for the Cubs a lot of times, and I find myself rooting for the Indians. So it was just overall, it was just a very enjoyable experience for me, and I think for a lot of fans.
Yeah, you have connections too. You were drafted by the Cubs, right?
So first 6 years were with the Cubs, and so I have my, I'm looking at my Cubs picture down in the man cave. I'm looking at my Indians bat, and I'm like, just to sit back and enjoy the show. So it's good to see new teams be in the mix, you know, and I think you're seeing that with teams like the Cubs, obviously, with the Indians, with the Blue Jays and the Orioles, and the traditional teams that we're used to, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Braves in the past, in the National League, were kind of dominating the sport for a while. But now, with the way there's the side, we can get into sabermetrics and how the game's change and all that, but you're seeing a lot of other teams being competitive now. Obviously, the Giants have had success, and the Kansas City Royals. So it's just overall, it's good to be a baseball fan right now, because you never know, your team may be in the mix at any time.
Always great talking to Russ Kanzler, talking baseball with him. And your kids, you could get them up there at a camp with the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. We'll give you some of that information. Also, you could go to their website. A lot going on that you're excited about right now with the Rail Riders, Russ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, this is a big time of year for us. We're doing a lot of different promotions and a lot of different sales. One of ours is the championship package, where you get 7 games throughout the course of the summer, and you also get a replica Yankees World Series ring, which at first glance may sound cheap, but honestly, like, this thing's pretty legit. You put it on your finger, you look like you might have played for the Yankees. So some guys can use that as a pickup line at a bar if you want to use that. Maybe you were a scout, maybe you were a second baseman or something. But so we have that going on. We also have a holiday package where we give away jerseys on top of our ticket plans. You know, we really try to find new and creative ways to get as many people to experience the stadium, because what we found in our experience is that once they're at the stadium, they keep coming back. It's just a matter of getting their foot in the door and seeing what an incredible venue PNC Field is, and the nice changes that they've made there.
Russ, thank you for your time.
Man.
Always appreciate it. Stop in Bottlenecks on Tuesday for their traditional bone-in wing night. 50 cents a wing. Add a small order of fries for only $1.50.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, Holy Rosary Parish, 240 South Poplar Street, will be hosting a free community luncheon Saturday, December 10th from 10:30 a.m. to noon in the community room of the church. All are welcome to attend, and a special thank you goes out to the Hazleton Rotary Club and the Weinberg Northeast Regional Food Bank. For info, just call 570-455-6390. Our next announcement, prepare for Christmas with prayer and music with a concert and prayer service at Holy Dormition Friary. The event will be held Sunday, December 11th at 3 p.m. by the Cantors of Northeast Pennsylvania, and a reception will follow the concert. For info, just call 570-788-1212 or email holydormission@gmail.com. And finally, Theodora's Restaurant will be holding a Holiday Delight Ladies Night Thursday, December 1st from 6 to 9 p.m. Come and enjoy a night of fun, shopping, hors d'oeuvres, and a chance to win a gift certificate from Theodora's. All money raised will be donated to Brandon's Forever Home, and for more info, just call 570-708-7500 or 570-956-5117. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Ann Andes, formerly of Hazleton. Mass is Wednesday at 10 a.m. in the Annunciation Parish at the Church of St. Gabriel. Friends may call Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Arrangements are under the direction of the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. Neil D. Lamanna of Hazel Township. Funeral is Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. from the Firo Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. Alice Tomlinson of Mount Union. Funeral is Wednesday at 11 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. And Mary Dewey of Freeland. The McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Diane Briggs of Tamaqua. Diane, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
There's a great story in the Republican Herald about some players from the semi-pro football team, the Schuylkill County Predators, handing out turkeys this Thanksgiving season. Check that out. I'm out of stories for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.